down with the kids and was like, what do you do when a police officer stops you? And he was like quizzing them on what to do. Like, you put your hands on this and you do that. And like you said earlier, we don't have the luxury of not making sure our kids know what to do. So at any point when you were growing up, did you get that? Do you feel like that's important?
No, it's funny because when I grew up as a kid, as a small child, you love the police. Like, you saw them.
Superheroes.
Right? Yeah, you saw them as, like, something that was good. And there was this narrative about, like, good, bad, cops are good, robbers are bad, you know? And then you became a teenager, a young teenager, and then you get stopped and questioned and harassed, you know, searched, and all of that stuff. So that was happening as I was becoming an adolescent. So at the same time, like, I didn't really grow up with a pop in the crib, but the old heads were the ones who were really like going through it. They were getting beat up, and they were the ones, you know, folks were hustling and doing whatever, but it really, you know, they were not your friend, and it was very clear about that. And that division just happened overnight.
Right. My uncle tells a story. So he's probably maybe like 50 something. And there was a time when he was like a teenager, and they would just come around and just randomly just like pick them up. Yeah. And put them in the back of the paddy wagon, threaten them, say they're going to beat them up, do certain things, and just kind of drop them off. I forget the guy's name during that time, but he was really, really corrupt. I don't know if he was a police commissioner, but he was a big wig.
Yeah, what was the guy's name? The one who they tore down his statue. They wanted Rizzo.
Rizzo.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's a big piece of it. So I was thinking, so like Rizzo stripped black men in the middle of Broad Street, right?
Right.
So you know, and then it's interesting, and it didn't just end with Rizzo. You know, you got a bomb being dropped on the roof and moved, right? Yep. And again, like an assault on black people, that doesn't happen to anybody else, right?
That's true, yeah.
So, what's the conversation? So I do have a 14-year-old son. Yeah. And the one question, remember, I was asking you, do you just parent them, you know, based on, you know, a lot of your experience, or what they're going to experience outside in the world? And we know it's a little bit of both, you know? So what is my conversation to my son for when he does go out there, when he does encounter the police? You know, because at one point in time, I wasn't really thinking about it. I'm just being a mom, and then it's like, wait. And, you know,
you're like, let him be a kid.
These boys are getting killed just for wearing a hoodie. And every time we go somewhere, I'm like, son, take your hoodie off. You know, take your hoodie off. Take your hoodie off.
Yeah. So we're not allowed to just simply exist.
Not at all. Take your hoodie off.
Kids can't be kids in this environment. Not for our kids.
Right. Yeah. So what do I say to him?
I don't have the answers, but I'm saying it's not one conversation. It's a constant conversation. Gotcha. And to me, it's like getting them engaged in as many activities as possible, like being idle, being in the streets. You know, either some hitter, like someone from around the way is going to get them, or the police. So being involved in pro-social activities as much as possible, clubs, athletics, like knowing where he is, the people's houses that he's going to. You can't control it all, but
you can be close.
Yeah, putting him in the best position as possible. Like, my daughter, 17, hit me up, and you know, she went to a party with her friends, and this is a kid, doesn't give us any trouble. This is on Friday night, and asked, like, she sent a text, like, can I stay later? It's already 11 o'clock. I'm like, nah, yo, you gotta be home by 12. You know, then she called me, then she sent me a text at 12, like, please? I'm like, yo, you playing.
You're supposed to be
like, yo, I'm about to go in your mouth.
That sounds about right. Exactly.
And then she's home in 15 minutes. And I walked in with her and her friends. I'm like, yo, do I have to explain what happened last weekend? Like, how many shootings in Philly? How many people got shot in Philly last weekend?
Right. Yeah.
30.
Ooh.
30. And they were like, yeah. And it was very sobering for them. When I didn't tell them, they went and looked it up themselves. And they were like, okay, like, we're getting it. And it's a shame you have to, like, instill fear in them.
But at the same time, it's a reality, right?
You fear the police.
Exactly.
You fear the police. You fear people in your own community. Right? So, like, I don't want to fear either one. You know, I got some homies that are cops, and they're good dudes, right? Yeah. I know they're, like, you know, there are some folks who are really trying to do right by community, and that's why they're in that role. Right. And then you get knuckleheads on the force that root for everybody. And the same thing like around the way.
Yep.
Right? Wow. Yeah, I love black people. You know, I want to be afraid of like young bulls.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, when my barber's like, "Yo, Wayne, they said they're gonna rob you," the young bull said they're gonna rob you next time they see you. I'm like, damn, like you don't.
Yeah, right.
Like you know, I ain't been around for a minute, but
Wow.
you know, it's like I told him
Wow.
that, but. You know, like giving me the heads up, but it's real, right?
It is
and
real.
That's.
Do you think when they see us, when they see black boys, that they do automatically think that they're criminals?
Who's they?
I mean, society, police officers. Let's just say police.
I think we don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Gotcha.
And that's the conversation that I have with like young black boys. Like you don't get the benefit of the doubt to play with a toy gun.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like you don't get the benefit of being able to walk through a mall with your hoodie on. And you can't talk back to a
police.
cop. You know, like you see white folks like yelling
pulling
at cops,
guns,
having guns,
like in there, and they're like, "Please, sir,
right.
please, sir."
Right. We don't have that luxury, and that's real. You know, and it's traumatic just to think of yourself in that way from like a deficit perspective. Like, and you question like why, yeah, and this is not a new question. Like, you know, why is this happening to me?
Yeah.
You know,
I think even as
folks.
females, I know personally, I have gotten more paranoid.
As you should.
If
You
being
better.
pulled
As you
over
should.
by the police. Like, and not that I really encounter the police, but there's like a level of fear that has risen in me as a woman, where it's like, okay, don't move, don't say anything. You know, do you go in your glove compartment?
No,
because it's that thing of, I'm not exempt either.
No. It simply is a lot of the times. I mean, we saw what happened to Sandra Bland and many others that we don't even call their names because we don't even know a lot of the times. But we saw what happened to that couple in Phoenix. Yeah. We saw this pregnant woman holding a toddler, infant, whatever she was, and who was constantly yelled at and demeaned. And so no, we're not exempt.
So I can't watch that. Yeah, like I read about it, I saw it, but I just can't click on it because I just walk around with anger, right? You know, and sadness, you know. So just trying to find some balance in my own life and find some joy, you know. It's really key.
And I think maybe that's where getting involved with the community and trying to be more active in it can kind of help bring that piece out of it. Right. So that at least I know I'm doing my part, and bringing others along too.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people, in
the home though. Because I'm like it's in the home, then it spreads to the block, then it spreads to the neighborhood, then it's the community, then it's the city, and then it's the state. Right. I believe there's a lot of things that we aren't even doing in the home as a whole of black families. Because I had a leadership position at my children's school where I was on the parent committee. And there were just things that weren't even happening in the household. Yeah. Therefore, when the child comes to school, it's like, well, what's going on? But then we've heard from our last guest about what's going on in some of our households. It's and then we ask you to come and be whole.
And be productive.
And don't get in trouble. And sit still.
And
do your work. And focus
all the time, over and over. I have to tell that
because these are our expectations.
I have to tell that sometimes when my 7-year-old will see, we'll be out, you know, and you know the older people, they used to being seen and not heard. So some of the older ones will be like, she just moves around. I was like, she's in school all day, sitting.
Right.
She's in after school.
Right, what you say?
I'm gonna give her the space to cut up, like, and let her she's 7.
Be a kid.
I'm gonna let her go ahead and do her because I don't get, be silly. No problem. Yeah. She's gonna have enough of that. Yeah. So with that, guys, so those who have just joined us or been with us, Kia and I are here with Dwayne Wharton. We've been talking about how they see us. We've talked about the importance of being active in your community, especially for black people and brown people. Yeah. The importance of voting, understanding the elections and the intent, and trying to get even behind the intentionality. And if you're not sure, there's questions that you can ask of people. Also, your home life as much as you can. Be a part of others' home lives, like mentorship and things like that. If you have the space to do it in, those are all very important things. Of course, we talked about when they see us. For those who did not see it, we talked about how heartbreaking it was, but how real it was, and the conversations that we have to have all the time with our boys and our girls. So we did the heavy. Now we're going to stretch. So Kia has a game for us. You guys know our game. Would you rather? So Dwayne is going to play.
It's not would you rather. It's could you live without?
Could you live without? I I've been watching too much Disney.
No. It's really, really fun, and we usually do it in the beginning as an icebreaker.
All right,
and
let's do
basically,
it.
I'm just going to give you 2 things, and you have to tell us, could you live without? So I had to tweak it a little bit, but it is really fun. Like,
all right.
For the first one, and you have to pick one. Could you live without basketball or football?
Yo, I'm living without football. I'm still mad at the NFL.
Yo, high five.
Taking a knee.
Give it to me.
Yo, I'm done.
Give it to me. I'm good. I was a Steelers fan, black and
You
yellow.
would have asked me that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm done with the NFL.
I was black and yellow.
Yeah, I'm all about trust the process. Sixers
Me.
next year. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Process.
So he
NBA
living without. Could you live without? Could you live without cable or could you live without internet?
I don't have cable, so I'm
so
rocking
you
internet
have
now. Yeah, yo.
No, I think
I ain't messing around with
everybody is
cable.
going out with cable.
Yeah,
I
that's how
swear.
they get you.
That's
Get
why
outta
they
here.
jacking up the internet
The
prices.
internet price is
Right.
like $80.
They be like,
Yo, I just
Seriously?
whatever.
Okay, so you can live without cable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
sure.
Could you live without Tupac or Biggie?
oh.
Yeah, I'm Biggie all day.
Okay.
Tupac was cool as an icon, but
Okay.
as a lyricist and an artist, yeah, Biggie all day.
Okay. All right. Could you live without beard or no beard?
So this is funny. All right, y'all didn't know this. I just came in from Cape Verde. I was
Okay.
there all last week working. That's off like West African coast.
Right.
Yes.
So
yes.
my clippers didn't work where I
you
was
roughing
staying.
Uh-huh.
So they directed me to a barber. So I'm like, poco, some barber.
Yeah.
And he was like, I
Poco.
got you.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
speak Portuguese.
Oh, dude.
Yo,
Oh,
my
yeah,
dude
they would.
took the clippers to my beard like, So I don't have this baby face. I usually have a beard, yo. So I'm struggling right now.
So this is the comeback. You and your comeback.
Yeah, this is the shadow.
Hilarious. What is that?
Yeah,
He
he
was like,
got me. Yeah, he got me.
I just
Little
wanted
trim,
a little.
little trim. So yeah, beard all day.
Was it the language barrier?
Yeah, of course. or now there's some sharp barbers over there though.
They do.
Yeah,
You might have
for
been
real.
like, let's.
All right. Could you live without Run DMC or KRS-One?
Ooh. Yeah, I'm a KRS-One. KRS, he changed my life, yo.
Really?
Yeah, I liked him
seriously.
too.
One of them were cool. They are cool. They
Okay.
the definition, but KRS is the god. yo.
Okay.
He had
Could
so
you
much to say.
live without family or friends?
You get me in trouble.
Somebody gotta go.
Yeah,
Bruh.
yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. You're getting me in trouble.
Next.
I ain't say it, Mom. I ain't say it.
Did he give my family?
I ain't say it, yo. I ain't say
What
nothing.
did y'all do to him growing up?
Right.
He like, my boys is cool.
Right. And they go home.
You're getting me in trouble with that one.
All right. Could you live without veggies or fruit?
Ooh. Yeah. I got the sweet tooth.
Okay.
So I can get away with veggies.
Or you could do it with veggies.
Yeah.
All right. 2 more. Could you live without eating out or a home cooked meal?
Ooh, good. All right, who's doing the cooking?
Oh, come on. The best cook. The best cook you know
right,
is
in
doing
your
the
family.
cooking.
All right, so that's me.
And your favorite
I'm the
restaurant
best
is
cook.
out there.
I'm doing the cooking then. So now I would say I'm gonna keep it home. I'm working for the food trust, so home is always
There
better.
we go.
Oh,
Always,
look
always
at you.
That's a good one. That's a
Staying
good one.
loyal. All right. Last
And I did not
one.
talk bad about my wife cooking, so I should get
I
some
know,
credit.
I didn't-
I should get some credit for that one.
You should. That's what
I could have gone there.
He whispered it.
Right. He kind of alluded.
All right, last one. Could you live without Philly cheesesteaks or pizza?
Yo, I eat pizza like a couple of times a week.
Really?
Yeah.
You're surprising me.
Couple
These
times a
questions-
week, yo.
I would have
Yeah.
thought Philly cheese, like a good one.
Yeah, so I
He's
can
a
live without
pizza guy.
cheesesteak. Cheesesteak is that rare thing when somebody out of town comes through.
That's true.
and you
It's a
take them
delicacy,
through.
like-
Right, so cheesesteaks are special occasions, a couple
They are.
times a year.
True,
for me.
yeah, you don't eat
pizza's
cheesesteak
right
every
now.
week.
Pizza is a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
That's good stuff. You learn something new every day.
That ends our round of
Word.
Could You Live Without? And we've learned a lot from
A
Mr.
lot.
Dwayne.
I like
a
that.
lot
I like
that he
that.
could live without. Yeah,
Thank you.
we tweaked it for you. I'll give
We
you an
did.
example. One of ours for the females was like, could you live without your GYN or your dentist?
Ooh. Ouch. That's a hard choice.
Can my OBGYN also do
we was trying to figure it out.
Yeah. I'm judging you no matter what you say.
He says that's a lose-lose.
We was like toothpaste or washcloth or
heels and sneakers. Yeah. So we this is the male version. So when we put it out in the store,
thank you.
This is not Milton Bradley. Okay, this is the Legacy
podcast.
The Legacy podcast.